Hi, this is our family webinar for 2020 Special Olympics Maryland Winter Games. In this webinar, we're going to be going over some important information, schedules, venue maps, and other important details to have a great competition next week. So as you can see, we'll go through the facilities maps and layouts, some housing information about overnight ski storage, opening ceremonies and additional events, some reminders about coaching, and important information for our families and spectators. Most importantly, probably, is the schedule, which we'll go over first. There have been some updates and some changes, so be sure to pay close attention to that. So some key changes to our winter games this year. Time trials are not a separate event as we did last year. They're part of the overall winter games and will be held on Sunday of winter games, creating the 3-day event Sunday through Tuesday, February 23rd through 25th. What's really important this year, just based on snow availability, is that our snowshoe time trials will not take place on Sunday, but will take place on Monday. We'll cover that in more detail shortly. The opening ceremony will take place on Sunday night at Whitetail, with finals starting on Monday at approximately 9:30 for Alpine and 12 o'clock for snowshoeing. But snowshoeing will have its time trials on Monday morning, as you'll see in subsequent schedules. So time trials will be taking place at Whitetail Ski Resort, again for Alpine on Sunday, and Monday for snowshoeing. Our Alpine skiing schedule for time trials is listed below, so please take a minute to identify the event in which your athlete competes and the county with which they participate. You will see the note at the bottom that time trials for Glide and Super Glide will occur on Monday at approximately 11 a.m. for all competitors in these events. As we said before, snowshoeing time trials will take place on Monday, 2/24. So this is our, again, more updated schedule for Sunday. So delegation registration will take place at between 12:30 and 3 in the control center. That's something for coaches and heads of delegation. Family members don't need to worry about that. Alpine ski warm-ups will take place before the time trials begin for your delegation. Our delegations can check in with for housing beginning at 3. Again, that's something for heads of delegation and coaches. Dinner at 4:45 to 6, with opening ceremonies beginning at 6:30. For Monday, Alpine, breakfast will begin at 6 a.m. In our hotels. Delegation registration will begin at 8:00 a.m. Again, heads of delegation and coaches only. And we'll make sure the schedules are out by 8:45. At 9:30, our Alpine course inspection will take place by our Alpine management team. And competition will begin at 10:00 a.m. At Whitetail. So at 10 o'clock, we'll start for novice giant slalom and intermediate super G, followed by our advanced giant slalom, glide, and super glide time trials at 11. At 11 o'clock, lunch will be available at Whitetail. Continuing on Monday for afternoon for Alpine, at 11 o'clock, roughly 11 o'clock, our Alpine awards will start. At 1:30 p.m., we'll have our advanced super G. At 2 o'clock, our super glide finals. At 3 o'clock, the coaches race for the Super G, which should be fun, followed by our coaches meeting at dinner at the hotel, and then our athlete social and dance, followed by our family reception, which we will cover more information later in the webinar. On Tuesday for Winter Games, breakfast again will be available at 6 o'clock with delegation registration at the control center starting at 8. At 9 o'clock, our Alpine management team will begin course inspection, followed by the Alpine novice slalom, Alpine intermediate slalom, Alpine advanced slalom, and Alpine glide finals. At 11:30, there will be lunch. Now, as we move to snowshoeing, again, this is the updated schedule with time trials moved from Sunday to Monday. So this makes the schedule earlier for our snowshoers on Monday. So at 7 o'clock, our management team will arrive to the snowshoeing venue to set up. Delegation check-in will be at 9:15 and they'll have some time to warm up. At 10 o'clock, we'll begin time trials for snowshoes. So we'll start with the 400-meter time trials, the 50-meter time trials, and the 100-meter time trials. Those are the three events that are run in order to make divisions for finals. At approximately 12:30, there will be a break for lunch. Our management team will take care of the divisioning, make the heat sheets. At 1:45, our athletes will have a chance to warm up with our finals starting at 2 o'clock. Okay, so at 2 o'clock, we'll do our 400-meter race. At 2:45, our 100-meter race, and 3:30, our 25-meter race. At 4 o'clock, our 4x200-meter relay for both traditional and unified. One of the things that we'll try to do is a coaches race following the end of competition to make sure our coaches get on some snowshoes. But that's all dependent on how the rest of the day is going. We want to make sure that things are run in a timely manner. So that's Monday for snowshoeing. Looking at Tuesday for snowshoeing, not much changes. The additions happen on Monday. So on Tuesday, the 25th at 9:15, we'll do the 1600 meter. At 10:15, the 200 meter. At 11:15, the 50 meter. And at noon, the 800 meter, followed by our 4x100 meters and 4x400 relays in both traditional and unified. There is a chance that competition could extend into the afternoon. It's unlikely, but possible. So we just appreciate your flexibility and understand that these schedules are tentative and will run as efficiently as we can to still provide the best sport experience for our athletes. So as you can see on the screen now, we have our general overview of Whitetail and the lodge area, which is the main area for Alpine and general games venues. So I'll circle them with my cursor. You can see this outside patio area in front of the lodge that I'm circling now, or I guess behind the lodge near the ski slopes. That's where our opening ceremonies and Alpine awards areas will be. That will be used on Sunday evening, again, for opening ceremonies, and then Monday and Tuesday for Alpine awards. In the main lodge area, that's where we're going to have family hospitality and the merchandise area. Family hospitality moved this year based on Whitetail's space and availability. So they will be hosting family hospitality in the Starbucks coffee shop area on the first floor of this main lodge, where I'm circling now. Please know that the snacks are very generously donated by Whitetail for family members, and we want to be respectful of that. So that is not coach, athlete, management team snacks, okay? Again, just for families and coaches, athletes, management team members. They can purchase snacks in the coffee shop, in the food area, or bring them from home. But we just ask you to be respectful to our hosts who choose to donate that food, coffee, and hot chocolate for our family members. In the dining court area, that's where we'll have lunch and dinner. So athletes can get their lunch there. Family members can also purchase their lunch there. Down here in front of the group sales and guest services window, you'll see a shuttle bus pickup. So for our snowshoe family members who wish to park closer to the snowshoe venue, you can take a shuttle back and forth to lunch, and that's where you'll be dropped off and picked up at the shuttle bus stop. There's this side lot here that you'll see is listed as restricted parking. That is Whitetail staff parking and handicap parking only. So please make sure if you do need handicap parking access that you have your tags and stickers with you. That will be monitored by our Whitetail staff. So please just be respectful to any Whitetail parking signs and regulations. Here's our Alpine course map. So you'll see, again, tentative based on snow availability, but things are looking good. Glide, Super Glide will take place at the Children's Center, and on the Velvet Run, Novice will be on Velvet. Intermediate will be on Stalker, Super G will be on Sidewinder, and Advanced will be on Home Run. So that's our anticipated trail run for alpine skiing. Our snowshoe venue, you'll see we are no longer using the Mountain Operations Building for time trials. That would have only been on Sunday, but because time trials are moved to Monday, we can have everything in the Snowtube Park. So competition will take place at the Snowtube Park at the base where it's flat. Awards will be available in the Snowtubing Lodge. You'll see this large parking area down by the Snowtube Park. It is absolutely fine to park there. As I said before, there will be a shuttle available driving people from the lodge to Snowtubing Park for snowshoeing. You can certainly park at the main lodge if you choose to, or park here and shuttle back and forth. For those of you who have not been to Whitetail before, as you enter Whitetail, our snowshoe area at the Snowtube Park is to the right. The main lodge is straight ahead, snowtubing is to the right. Same map as before, just zoomed in on our specific venue for Monday and Tuesday. For time trials and for competition, everything will take place at the Snowtube Park. Housing information. So delegation members will be staying at the Ramada Plaza, Holiday Inn Express and Country Inn and Suites in Hagerstown. The hotels are approximately a 20-minute drive to Whitetail, and medical rooms will be in the hotel. So should coaches or heads of delegation need to reach medical for any reason, we will have medical on site overnight. One thing that's really important that we've had a few issues with in the past is that family members, coaches, heads of delegation should not contact the hotels directly with questions about rooms or our delegation housing or anything like that. We do all of the room assignments and everything internally. So it's more important that you get in touch with your coach or head of delegation who can get in touch with our management team rather than you contacting the hotel directly regarding meals or anything like that. If your athlete does need to rent ski equipment for winter games, that does require a signature, parent, guardian, if they are under the age of 18. So please make sure that you're available for that. We will provide overnight ski storage as we have done on the past on Sunday and Monday night in the private lesson and check-in space, which is the same building as the control center. Each building, each delegation will be assigned one or more containers to hold their skis and poles only. So please remind your athletes this is skis and poles only. Do not put in your helmets, your boots, bags, or other items. And we also want to make sure all of the skis are labeled so that the proper equipment gets back to the correct athlete. Opening ceremonies, as we've said before, will take place on Sunday evening, so we're looking forward to that. The location is on the back patio of Whitetail, so directly behind the lodge. Because it's outdoors, sound from our sound system can sometimes be a challenge, so please make sure you're respectful to the opening ceremonies with a limited side conversation. And as a reminder, there's no overall games closing ceremony. There will be brief closing remarks at each of the competition awards areas after the last awards are presented, but no official overall games closing ceremonies. For those of you who have athletes who do advanced giant slalom and advanced slalom only, this is just a heads up, nothing for you to do, mostly to know that your athletes will be escorted by their coaches up to the start of the runs, rather than having volunteers escort your athletes. So again, advanced giant slalom and advanced slalom only, your athletes will be escorted by their coaches. So it's really important whether you are a family member, coach, or just general spectator to understand that we do not allow coaching while our athletes are competing. So coaching is specific assistance that helps an athlete gain an advantage over other athletes. So you can absolutely cheer, encourage, as we note here, go John go, and hooray, and way to go, keep it up, good job. But statements like put your skis downhill and it will be easier to get up, that's considered coaching, and there can be consequences for the individual providing the coaching as well as the athlete. So we definitely don't want to have to go that route. The main purpose of this policy is to provide fair competition for all of our competitors. The consequences could include for the athlete and partner, if in the official's judgment, an athlete or partner receives assistance from coaching, the athlete or partner is DQ'd from the race and will receive a participation ribbon for the event. For the person who did the coaching, if the race official can identify the person who did the coaching, that person for a first offense will be required to leave the race course for the duration of the event, and for a second offense will be ejected from Winter Games. This does include family members, so please make sure we are following that. Certainly cheer, encourage, have a great time, but do not coach. For families and spectators, as we've talked about before, family hospitality is designated for family members only, and that's going to be on the main floor of the main lodge in the Starbucks coffee area. And that's to the left as you approach the breezeway. That's open on Monday and Tuesday only. It's also where we're going to be selling merchandise in a separate area. So please make sure any of the snacks just for family members and spectators. On Monday night, we're going to have a great family reception at the Homewood Suites Ballroom in Hagerstown. That will include desserts, some just socializing, really informal. But athletes are not invited to the family reception. They're going to have a great dance going on. So we want to make sure they're at the dance and their evening activities, family members can enjoy the family reception. If family members try to bring athletes, they won't be allowed in the room. So just please be respectful of that. Also for family members, we have discounted lift tickets and rentals. So you can certainly take advantage of the snow that's available while you're up there. So $30 for lift ticket only, $38 for lift ticket and rental equipment. And to receive these, go to the group sales area at Whitetail and mention that you're with Special Olympics. Do not go directly to the ticket sales line. They don't handle our group. You won't necessarily be given the discount. Please go to the group sales area at Whitetail. For family meals, those can be purchased through the Whitetail cafeteria line, and dinner is not available at the Ramada Plaza with the delegations on Monday night. You can certainly dine in the Fireside restaurant at the Ramada Plaza, but you're not going to be able to dine in the room with the delegations. It's just not big enough for our families, but there's plenty of local restaurants in the area. If you're the family member or spectator of an alpine skiing athlete, a spectator walking pass is required for those who wish to cheer on the athletes at the finish areas of the course for Alpine. There will be walking passes available at Family Hospitality. So you sign a waiver and we'll give you a walking pass that means that you can be up on the snow. If you don't have that, Whitetail will ask you to come back to Family Hospitality and get one. So you might as well just visit Family Hospitality, sign your waiver, get the pass, and then you're free to walk at the finish areas. For our snowshoeing families, spectator space can be limited and narrow, but we do encourage you to bring folding chairs for your own comfort. You do not need a walking pass for the snowshoeing venue. And again, we're not using the Mountain Operations Building, so you don't have to worry about not parking up there, but there's plenty of parking in front of the Snow Tube Lodge, which you can use. We're constantly monitoring the weather in Mercersburg to make sure that we're going to have a good winter games, but as always, be prepared for all conditions, cold, warm, rain, all in the same day. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on that. Make sure you and your athletes are staying hydrated. And as with all winter sports, layers are ideal. The weather can be unpredictable. Quick overview of the special events that we'll have at Winter Games. Some of these are repeats. So the opening ceremonies will be at Whitetail on February 23rd at 6:30 on the back patio, which is the same location as last year, just directly behind the lodge. The theme of the dance for our athletes is Under the Sea. So they should, if they choose to bring special outfits and that kind of stuff, it's an Under the Sea tropical theme, which is fun. That dance is just for athletes and delegation members, and the family reception is just for family members. The athletes during the family reception should be at the dance having a great time with their friends and teammates. Family members come enjoy a great ice cream social in the Homewood Suites ballroom. And again, award ceremonies will take place at each venue, at Snowshoeing on the back patio, and Snowshoeing in the Snow Tube Lodge, and at Alpine on the back patio. Our awards and results for our family members, please stay out of the staging tents for awards. They're just not big enough to accommodate athletes, family members, partners, and coaches. So we ask that you just get a great seat for pictures for when your athlete is on the awards podium. For Alpine, we will be posting all of the results on the windows of the new pizza restaurant on the back side of the lodge. So if you have a question about how your athlete did or what their time was, you can always check out those. And then for our snowshoeing families, the same result sheets for snowshoeing will be posted on the wall of the Snow Tube Lodge. Throughout the weekend, and as we can get them posted, all results will be posted on the coach resource page of somd.org. So they'll also be available online. For a delegation dinner on Sunday night, that will be hosted by Whitetail on Monday evening. That will be at the Ramada Plaza for our delegations, and will be buffet style. We're asking because that's also the room for our dance, we're asking people to please eat and promptly clean up their area and make room for others so that we can stay on schedule. You will see the schedule again. Family members, you are not able to dine with your athlete or even be in the rooms. They're just not they're not big enough for our family members. But just so you know, when your athlete will be able to eat from 5 to 6, we have Allegheny, Baltimore City, Cecil, Garrett, Montgomery, Frederick, Howard, and Charles counties. And from 6 to 7, Anne Arundel, Carroll, Harford, St. Mary's, Washington, and any organizing committee personnel. So that's what time your athletes will be eating dinner. For delegations, again, not open to family members. The dance will be held at the Ramada Plaza in the same location as dinner. Families will not have the option to purchase dinner tickets to eat with the delegations or to enter the dining area at all. Only officially registered delegation members will have tickets for the dinner. We will have staff and volunteers monitoring the door, family members, so please just make it easy. Don't try and get in to that dinner. Breakfast will be available for delegations at hotels, and delegation members will receive a lunch ticket each day, which includes plenty of options for lunch. For any medical issues that take place during winter games, we're going to use ski patrol for all medical issues. There's also a walk-in clinic for injuries located near the control center at the lower level of it's called the Kids Mountain Camp. So if you need walk-in need, just head there. And then overnight medical will be available at the hotels. As always, we love to get your feedback on our games so that we can continue to make improvements. So that SurveyMonkey link will be sent around and will be open until March 30th to collect feedback. As we're so thankful to be at Whitetail, and they're such great hosts, we just ask everyone, clean up your area at the end of each day. We realize that delegations kind of set up camp at those long tables, but please make sure trash is thrown away, chairs are pushed in, spaces are left neatly so that we can show our gratitude to Whitetail for hosting us. As you see our volunteers, they'll be in blue hats. Just like many of you, our coaches, our heads of delegation, our volunteers, they're taking some of them vacation time to be here, making sure that the athletes have a great event. So want to make sure that we do that. Thank our volunteers, and then our Whitetail staff who will be in frequently green vests. Want to make sure that we say thank you to them as we see them as well. They're great hosts, and we appreciate the opportunity to be there. And just to end with a big thank you to our families who do a great job supporting our athletes. making sure they get to practices and competitions. We really appreciate all that you do to help us hold great games for athletes. Thanks so much. There will be an email address with the link when this is sent around. So please make sure if you have any questions, you just reply to the email and get the information that you need. Thanks so much, and we'll see you at Winter Games.